All right, we have to talk about this. I mean, we have to. My favorite type of video game is first-person shooters. My favorite genre since I was, let's say, 12 officially, since the first time I played Resident Evil, around 11, 12. My favorite genre to this day, from then till now, the zombie genre. Easily. Favorite. Post-apocalyptic, that beautiful contradiction, I call it, where you get the fallen world, the remnants of our old world, but it looks so beautiful with nature taking it back over. Love it. That's that beautiful contradiction that I just love. Anyway, love first-person shooter games. My favorite. Love zombies. If you can't get me interested in your game, you failed. You absolutely failed. And I will say, I disagree with some people saying the game looks like total ass. If you take the game and compare it to the cinematic trailer, yeah, that was one way they failed, I think, when they announced it. The cinematic trailers had so many people hyped. And it kind of, I think, maybe gave them some false hope. And I really wish people would start looking at things said on YouTube, especially negative things, is not all trolls, not all just people being whiny and bitchy. These are your customers. When you had the cinematic trailers, I think OVERKILLS, The Walking Dead, and any game moving forward, when you put out a cinematic trailer and you know the gameplay is dramatically different than what you're putting out, include some images. If you don't have a finished gameplay snippet, include gameplay. You have to. It's not like you're going to trick them later on. They're going to love your cinematic trailers for so long that when they finally see the gameplay and it's so different, they're going to be like, that's all right, I love the trailer so much, I'm going to buy it anyway. No. Peel the Band-Aid off early, show the gameplay, let them know, and then that way you'll even get people interested. Some people might not like a certain type of game, but they love first-person shooters, and then when you show off what's coming, they might be like, oh, okay, I like that instead. Anyway, let's read this, and then I do want to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you want to put them down in the comments now, we're definitely going to revisit this topic. But give me your thoughts and opinions if you were interested in this game, and at what point did you become not interested? I remember exactly to this day the moment I said, shit, I don't like this game. Yeah, I don't have any more interest in playing this game, and it was the gameplay. I remember that the moment that was revealed of what you do, my heart sank. I was like, oh my god, I was so pumped for this. I wanted a Last of Us experience in the world of The Walking Dead. Immersive environment, characters, not open world, but open enough where we can explore and have these little missions. And like The Last of Us is an open world, but there's so many open areas. Man, it has that feeling. It's not as restrictive. But when I found out it was like, close the gate, get some bullets, shoot some people who should be saviors, but they're not. They're just like saviors, but they're not saviors, even though it takes place in the comic universe, even though you're in the same area as the saviors. I knew it right then and there. I knew I wasn't buying it. Anyway, you guys put in the comment box, what's that moment? Did you play it on the computer and you said, oop, this isn't for me? Was it with the cinematic trailer and then the reveal of the gameplay? You let me know what that was down below. The headline says, Starbreeze in desperate need of a payday after OVERKILLS The Walking Dead flop. Pun intended with that. CEO booted out as board files for reconstruction. Starbreeze is desperately trying to save itself from going out of business after a string of high-profile flops following the commercial failure of OVERKILLS The Walking Dead. Which I do agree, it should be The Walking Dead Overkill or something like that. OVERKILLS The Walking Dead, I thought that was always a working title, and I think that's a terrible title. But I get what they were going for. Telltale's The Walking Dead, OVERKILL's The Walking Dead. I get the flow, but maybe they should have switched it up. Small nitpick. Who cares? The Payday publisher has filed for reconstruction with the district court, an alternative to bankruptcy that gives it breathing room to find the money it needs to pay off the debts. The decision is based on a shortage of liquidity and deemed to be necessary step to give the company the time needed to negotiate a long-term financial solution and implement changes in the organization and operations, Starbreeze said in a press statement. The financial targets for Q4 and 2020 no longer applies. Starbreeze has already served notice to cut costs across its business as a result of the poor performance of Overkill's The Walking Dead, but it sounds like the game was an even worse commercial failure than we thought, and a recent price cut had little impact. With the latest statistics from Overkill's The Walking Dead, including effects from the latest marketing efforts affecting the forecasted sales, it has reduced the short-term forecasted revenue, resulting in an expected shortfall of cash in January 2019, Starbreeze said. Starbreeze said staff will continue to be paid as normal and the company will continue to operate, but during this reconstruction period, no payments can be made to suppliers for services or goods made up to that point. Ouch. That is likely to piss off some people. Meanwhile, CEO Bo Anderson has left the company. Deputy CEO Michael Nurmick, I hope I said that right, is acting CEO. All right, so Overkill's The Walking Dead, this shouldn't have failed. This should not have failed. When you see the characters, okay, that's good. When you see the environments and okay, that's good. Zombies, okay, that's good. When it came to things like the melee combat, just off the top of my head, that's something I feel you're going to do a lot in the game, and it's going to stand out when you showcase the game, especially early on when you start in certain areas without any weapons. The melee combat should have been a lot more responsive, a lot more smoother, and a lot more realistic. When you hit them, it shouldn't look like a game from 10 years ago, and it does. The melee combat in that, it does. It looks dated. It looks terrible. When you hit them, it should impress you. It didn't. Now, because it's a 4-player co-op, I was like, okay, maybe because of how it's connected with everyone's internet and yada, 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 maybe there's certain limits and restrictions. However, the moment where I said, I'm not buying that, I am no longer interested, is when I found out what the gameplay was. And essentially is 4 people in a space, and you literally just maneuver around that space, picking up gears to open doors that they have already placed in front of you. So essentially it's like, we put gears over here, we want you to run over here, grab those gears, and then go over here and put them in there, and then open up doors. Here's a couple bad guys, here's a couple zombies. Shut the doors to keep the zombies out, open another door to go into another stage. And I watched a few gameplays, and I was really looking for something to cling on to, because like I said, this was a game I really wanted to be excited about. When it was first announced, I was super excited, and then when they started releasing the cinematic trailers, I was really hopeful this could be something that I can sink my teeth into, we can showcase on the channel, and make a big thing out of it, because again, favorite type of game is first-person shooter, favorite type of genre is the zombie genre, and I said it once, I'll say it again, I'm your easiest customer. If you couldn't get me to jump on this, you failed. And I think where they failed is the story, the paint by numbers, hold your hand, do the projects we have put out for you, and that's it. I don't understand how that's interesting. I don't get how there's a group of fans out there who are interested in that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the gameplay was so clunky that fans were like, I'm out, I'm done, or I'm not interested. And the actual gameplay is fun. But again, help me out, help me to understand that. Like, it's not on console. I didn't play it. I wouldn't play it. I did watch I did watch gameplays of it, and like I said, nothing stood out to where I said, oh, that looks interesting, that looks immersive. It didn't. I did like some environments. I definitely did. I do want to shoot, herds of zombies. Yeah, there was even one moment I saw where someone opened a door or something, and there's zombies just like appeared. It was that type of game where, nah, I'm good on that. I like it being a little more realistic, again, a little more immersive, not just here's a whole wave of zombies, or when they closed the door, there was like a bunch of zombies here, and then they did their mission, and the doors were closing, and everything's like instant. They just disappear, door is closed. That type of clunkiness rips me out of the moment and makes it uninteresting to me. It feels like a mobile game that I'm just playing on a PC, you know, some game that you download for free, and then you use it when you're out and about sometime just to kill time. Anyway, leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. At what point did you say, I'm noping out of this? Or have you played Overkill's The Walking Dead, and do you like it? Put your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I definitely want to do a follow-up video about this one as well. I'm done talking. It's your turn.